Have you ever wondered why men tend to drive a car and a woman rides in the passenger seat? Or have you ever overheard someone saying that women generally talk too much? All this and more can be explained by the gender roles in communication. Gender roles are extremely interesting and have been noticed in children as young as 3. Knowing about gender roles can help us understand the opposite gender and make us better communicators. Everyone has a common interest in this topic because every single one of us has a gender. Gender is one of the few things in the world that everyone can share. Today, I will inform you about how men communicate, how women communicate, and the difference in communication between genders online. To begin, let's learn about how men tend to communicate. First, we will talk about how men learn their communication style from a young age. According to Deborah Tannen, children play in large groups that are hierarchically structured, and the leader usually tells them what to do. Boys of lower status are often pushed around. The games that boys play always have winners and losers. When boys ask for something when they're young, they generally say, "Give this to me," or "Give me that, give me this," and this is a direct statement. They're very forceful about it. All this can be related to adulthood as men learn what they learn as children, moves on to adulthood. When men are adults, they are constantly on the lookout for being put down by others. They obtain status by giving orders, and they keep track of who's giving the orders to see where they are among their peers. According to Molly Hardup in my interview, she believes that men initiate conflict. I agree with this because men are much more aggressive than women are. When it comes to men's problems and problem solving, men fix problems not to help others, but more so to prove to themselves that they can fix it. If they can't fix a problem, they tend to say that it cannot be fixed, no one can fix it at all, or they say that the way they fixed it, although it's not how it was before, is actually better than what it was before. They like to feel that they know more, and they don't want others to understand their problems. When given a problem, they often like to offer solutions to others, and a major thing about men and problems is that they hate asking questions about their problems. A major example of this is men and directions. Men historically do not stop to ask for directions, and this is because they feel as though they are lowering themselves down to a lesser level because of this. Overall, men, contrary to popular belief, talk twice as much as women do. That men prefer to speak in public and not in private. A great example of this is wives getting upset with a man because when they're at home, he doesn't talk to them, but when they go out, he's talking to everyone. This isn't because he dislikes the woman at all. It is more because men, in their natural gender role, like public speaking more. Men also talk to obtain status and use storytelling, they use storytelling and jokes. They enjoy presenting the knowledge that they have learned and the skills that they have learned throughout their life. Men believe that talking is strictly for information. Men have their own way of communicating that they learn from a young age, and women are no different. Now that we know about the communication styles of men, it is only right that we move on to learning how women communicate. During childhood, girls tend to play in small groups as opposed to the large group that boys play in. The center of a young girl's life is based upon a best friend, and having these small groups, intimacy is very key in this. When girls play games, the games they play, everyone gets a turn. No one is left out. And also, the games they play tend to have no winners and no losers, such as the game House. You can't win in House, and you can't also lose in House. Girls do not boast. They do not give orders, but instead express preferences. As opposed to the boy who says, "Give me that," the girl will say, "Let's do this," or "Let's do that." The reason they do this is because girls are very self-conscious and they do not want to be seen as bossy. They're concerned with being liked. Girls monitor friendships for changes in alliance, and they seek to be friends with the popular girls. When it comes to women and problem solving and talking about their own problems, women do not like to take action. However, they're not afraid to seek help. In fact, they enjoy asking others for help because they enjoy talking to the others and making friends with them. Girls often want people to know how they feel when they have a problem. And a great example that I read about this is a woman gets surgery and has a scar. When she talks to her friends, the friends say, "I know how you feel." They'll relate other stories like, "My friend had the same idea," or "My friend had the same scar, and I know exactly how you feel." Now, when the woman goes home to her husband, he presents a solution to the problem. He will say, "Well, why don't you get plastic surgery to fix that scar?" This, in turn, infuriates the woman because she feels as though she's not living up to his standards. She feels as though she's being judged. According to John Gray in his book, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, he says that women like to share their feelings, but they dislike suggestions because it makes them feel judged. Overall, women talk less than men, and people feel there's a natural stereotype that people feel that women should be seen and not heard. So when people say that women talk more, this is because they feel that any talking a woman does is too much talking at all. Women believe talking is for information and to make connections with others. They do not like public speaking because they feel as though they're being judged by the others. And they prefer private talking in smaller groups amongst themselves. According to Kathleen Durant, she says that female relationships are much more fragile than male relationships. It seems as though men and women have completely different styles of communication. Finally, I would like to show you the communication differences in gender roles while using the internet and being online. For women, women tend to use the internet for interpersonal communication. They enjoy sending emails to others, and according to Sharon Thompson, they spend 10% more time online than men do. On profiles such as Facebook and Twitter, they prefer their profile to present them as attractive. They use these profiles to continue relationships that they have with existing friends, and they like to voice their feelings on the internet. They place a high priority on the exchange of communication, so once again, to keep up relations with others, and they get more entertainment on the internet while using Facebook and Twitter and anything else of the sort as opposed to men. Women tend to look at others' profiles to get information, and once they get this information, they compare themselves with others because of this information. As far as pictures are concerned, women tend to use portrait pictures instead of full body shots because women are very self-conscious about how they look. Men are almost exactly opposite as compared to women. According to Sabrina Imler, men are task-oriented while using the internet. They use it to seek information, and their profiles on Facebook focus on the status of where they are in their life and the technology. When men look at other people's Facebook pages, they put a priority on the occupational status of the person because men are all about seeking status and seeing where they are. Men use on the internet to make new friends, and they're interested in meeting new people. When men take pictures online, they prefer full body shots in groups where they're with their friends because they're less interested in what people think about them. That doesn't bother them as much. From all this info, it's easy to see that men and women are extremely different in their communication styles, even how they communicate online. Let me end by saying that there will always be differences in how men and women tend to communicate, and this will often lead to many fights and miscommunications. Today, I have shown you how men communicate, how women communicate, and the differences between how men and women communicate online. Understanding gender roles is integral to being a good communicator. Knowing about gender roles makes you relate to the opposite gender better than you could have without the information. This improves your communication skills, and improving your communication skills has been proven to get you further in life and can lead you to much success. So the next time you see a man driving a car with a woman in the passenger seat, or you overhear someone's conversation talking about a woman in their life that talks too much, realize that none of this is random and that it all stems from the different gender roles in communication.